don't create content just to make content, because there's a lot of content nowadays that are, what's the point of that content?
Right. Now that you have this as proof of your 100,000 subscribers, how does it feel to reach 100,000 subscribers after 12 years?
After 12 years. Mabuhay! Earn Kamampangan, luwid kayo. It's me, Kirby Araullo, your friendly Pinoy historian. And in today's special video, I have a special guest, my lovely partner who's been with me in this channel since the very first video. Let's welcome Yee!
Why did you hesitate there?
I was waiting for you to say your name.
Hello everyone, this is your friendly Hmong friend. Right?
That's your thing now since that one reaction video.
Your friendly Hmong friend Yee. Nyajong.
Okay, so today's video is actually a celebration of reaching 100,000 subscribers, you know, this silver play button, and also a celebration of
your 12 years on this channel.
Yay, yes, this channel is 12 years old.
Woohoo, it's almost a teenager.
Yes, next year. We're gonna have a teenager next year. So yeah, if you follow me on social media and you saw my post, I did ask you, my viewers, subscribers, followers, friends, family, everybody, to send me your questions to read and answer while I'm unboxing this silver play button. But actually, before we answer your questions and before we actually open this box, we're gonna... Ta-da!
Yay! Happy birthday to your channel.
Thank you. Wait, are we gonna sing?
Yes.
And blow this?
You get thank yous. Oh, your followers get thank yous and kisses.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
So now you have one birthday wish you get to make.
Feels weird because it's not really my birthday.
I know it's not.
It's my channel's
it's
birthday.
Your channel's
On
birthday.
behalf of my channel.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Why? I was ready to be back up there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now let's put this away.
Have some cake. Ta-da! We're back.
We can get to some of the questions that your followers asked, but before we do, I wanted to just give a little thank you to all of the subscribers out there.
There you go.
These are such
Ta-da.
fun balloons. Before we get into questions, I just wanted to take this chance to say how proud I am of you.
Oh.
You should be really proud of yourself. Actually, you've been doing this for 12 years, and this is actually the first time that you're celebrating.
Yeah, that's true. I've never celebrated any of my anniversaries on YouTube.
This is the first time we're celebrating anything like this. So, you know, you've come a long way since 12 years ago. I don't remember I don't even know how to do the math right now. You should be really proud of yourself. You've really built like
upside
yeah.
down. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, do you want to interrupt me?
You've really built a movement in making history cool again. You've made history fun, and you made history relatable. And I just, again, want to take this moment. We're coming together really to celebrate you and your channel. So just wanted to share in the moment with you because it's such a huge moment for you, but wanted to make sure that your followers also know how much, you know, you put time into your channel. You are a one-man team. Yes. You're a one-man team. You research by yourself, you write by yourself, you edit by yourself, and you film and you do post-editing productions by yourself.
Yeah.
And that takes up a lot of time and energy, and you don't expect anything from doing this. You do this from the goodness of your heart, and I can tell because I see you behind the scenes putting so much work into your channel. And so yeah, just be proud of yourself.
Thanks.
Here you go. Thank you.
I'm trying not to cry. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Yeah, I really appreciate each and every one of you. All 100. Oh, oops. Sorry, I broke the balloon. I'll save my thank you speech at the end of the video.
Yeah, and then we can get into questions.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for everyone following in Kirby's journey and his YouTube channel. It really does mean a lot. And you can tell he's getting emotional because he's not saying anything right now. But I just want to let you know that He really appreciates, and we also really appreciate everyone's support. Like
Love and support.
Yes, love and support. That really does mean a lot. Okay, so today we are here to, well, not me, but you're here to answer some questions selected across your social media. We have several, but I actually just did my part and condensed it down to a few just for the sake of time. The first question is, what inspired you to create this YouTube channel?
I didn't think I actually had an inspiration, if anything. So I guess I'll just share a little bit of the history of my YouTube channel to share how I found inspiration.
Okay.
That made sense? Okay, so if we go back, all the way back, rewind it. When I was a little kid, I've always wanted to create documentaries.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I personally know this about you.
You can ask my dad too. I watch all the documentaries when I was a little kid, and I've always wanted to create a documentary, or like, make my own documentaries someday. And then when I had a VHS camera back then, the VHS tape cameras, I used to do mock documentaries using my toys.
Yes.
And interview them and stuff, and then create this whole documentary, because I've always wanted to make documentaries. I've always been into filmmaking, and also I always love history.
Right.
But that did not converge until much later in life.
Yeah.
So my first YouTube channel was actually back in 2005.
Yeah.
So this year is actually my 19th year on the flat platform.
On the platform.
Flat. See, my Filipino accent is coming out.
On the platform.
Yes, this is my 19th year on the platform. But yeah, 2005 was my first channel, and back then I was still in high school in SoCal in LA. When I did my first channel, it was more short films, documentary projects from my high school classes.
Yeah.
I did filmmaking class in high school and college, so it's mostly skits, short films, some documentary videos there, or documentaries that I made, funny videos, school projects. I did a whole series of skits with my cousins and my siblings in LA and Vegas,
which I've seen.
Yeah, I'll probably share some of it here, but that's a different channel. That's my old channel. And then I went to college, and I still kept doing short films, but it was still my old channel. And then in 2010 I started vlogging daily. Before daily vlogging was a thing, before it became an industry, I was doing daily vlogging on campus, in the dorms. That's my first year living away from family, living in college, college town, college life. And I remember even UC Davis offered me a job to vlog for UC Davis, for the University of California. So we got trained for a whole summer, and then when the program was supposed to start, when we were supposed to start vlogging for the university, they cut the funding. But luckily for me, I got the skills. I kept the skills, and I kept taking filmmaking classes. And then I just did vlogging. For the most part, I was in a way chasing the audience. I was trying to do videos that I thought would be viral. And then fast forward, after 2012, that's when I had this, feeling like, okay, I need to refresh my channel. I need to a fresh restart of my channel. But then during that time, you can't really change the name of the channel yet. So I had to make a new channel.
Okay. So that's how you got this channel. Okay.
Yeah, and I used the nickname that I had from college. So 2010, I already had a series called Kirby Noodle. That's my vlog name for my daily vlog on campus. And I used that same name to name this channel, Kirby Noodle. That was 2012. It wasn't really until I started making, history content, educational content, that I actually found my audience, that I grew my channel exponentially. So, and...
Word of the day, exponentially.
And that is where I found my inspiration.
Okay.
So my inspiration for the educational content creation is that when we were in college, we did youth conferences.
Right.
You were doing it too.
Right.
We were doing it for different communities. I was mostly involved in the Filipino one and the Southeast Asian one with you. And I was always teaching Filipino history through Baybayin.
Right.
So I've been teaching Baybayin. For those who may not know, I've been Baybayin culture bearer since I was like 7 when I started writing Baybayin, as far as I can remember. And then I've been teaching it since I think my very first official class that I taught was 2009 in UCLA before Davis. Anyways, the long story short, I've been teaching Baybayin for a very long time. And then in Davis, we have this youth conferences where 3-day weekend.
Right.
We would bring high school students to the campus and do a bunch of workshops to help them, think about higher education, but also reconnect with our roots, with our Filipino roots. And then I'm always tasked to teach Baybayin. And whenever I teach Baybayin, I always teach it with history. Because I don't want to just teach the way how to write it, I want to teach them about the people who wrote it, the people who used the script. I wanted to teach them our people's history so that they could appreciate it more. Right?
Now I'm just kind of thinking about all your students who went through the Baybayin workshop.
Yes. So if you've been to my Baybayin workshops, any of it from UCLA to UC Davis to any of the high schools I went to, comment below or like this video.
Yes, shout out to them.
Yeah, so it was actually them. They're my
Okay.
inspiration for
Okay.
creating this type of content.
Okay.
So yeah, every at the end of that conference, on the last day, students would always ask me, "Kuya, where can we find this information? Where can we learn more?" Right? And I remember from the first few years I've done it, I'm like, "You can check out this book or this
Right.
book or that book,"
Right.
right? And then I realized, after a few years, I realized like, oh wait, these books are actually not accessible to students,
Right.
to high school students.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in the UC system.
Right.
A lot of them are like the Library of Congress,
Yeah,
for example. So it's not accessible to the marginalized communities,
Yeah.
which most of our students came from.
Yeah.
So that's when I started thinking like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll start creating more videos that expands on the topics that
Yeah.
we talked about on the workshop,
Yeah,
on
at
the
the
classes that I
workshops,
taught.
yeah.
And actually, if you've been on this channel from the beginning, you will notice that the first educational videos that I made have actually been called Ask Kirby. Because the topics that I covered for the first few years of my channel were actually questions that I got from those high school students.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you remember a lot of them, yeah. So
I
the high school
remember.
students that we taught, the questions from them are the ones I turned into videos and expanded on so that they could learn more beyond that one weekend every year.
Right.
Right? So that's actually how I started. And for me, it's really the same reason why I teach Baybayin in the first place.
Yeah.
To, share my knowledge,
Yeah.
share what I know. And at the same time, I want to raise awareness to the community that we have such a wonderful, deep culture, deeper history that we've forgotten.
Right.
That I just want to share that to them because it's not
Yeah.
every day that we actually encounter this. You've learned this too in
Yeah.
ethnic studies,
Yeah.
in this whole colonial mentality, this colonial miseducation of different
Right.
communities around the world where we were taught that our people were savages,
Yeah.
that we didn't have culture before we were colonized. And for me, even now, back then until now, my goal is to to raise awareness that no, we have a
Yeah.
deeper culture.
Right.
We have a very rich history that shaped
Right.
the struggles of our people, for
Right.
example. And I just really want to share my knowledge and raise awareness for the next generation, for our current generation and the
Right.
next ones. I know this answer's kind of long now, but going off from that was like 2012 when I started
Yeah.
doing the educational ones with the
Yeah.
high school students. My audience was actually at the beginning were the people in the diaspora.
Yeah.
Because I realized okay, I was lucky enough to learn about these in the Philippines.
Right.
I was lucky enough to be raised by culture bearers,
Yeah.
and having historians in my family. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can share what I know to
Yeah.
the diaspora, which
Yeah.
who did not have access to these things.
Yeah.
But then something shifted. So around 2017 is when I started seeing that the demographics shifted.
Okay.
Suddenly, the biggest chunk of my audience is actually from the Philippines, right? So I'm like, whoa. So what I'm doing isn't just for Filipinos in the diaspora, but also for Filipinos in the motherland.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it resonates with them, that they also have this, I guess, thirst for knowledge,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were not always taught these things.
Yeah.
And then that was 2017, and the pandemic happened, and now I have 100,000 subscribers. Oh wait, it's upside down again. Long story short, my inspiration is actually the youth who are eager to learn more about our roots.
Right. Right. And then you mentioned, Filipinos in a diaspora. It's those who have been displaced
Yeah.
and those who are no longer in the motherland, but then seeing that there's also interest in the motherland, wanting to learn more. Your motivation really comes from those who want to learn.
Yeah,
So
yes.
I know you mentioned youth, but I also need to say that adults are also included
Yes,
in that
yes,
demographic because I've seen so many people our age and even older
yeah.
who are still hungry for the knowledge, right? Hungry to learn more about their history and their culture, and they're finding that through your channel.
Thank you.
And your channel really, I kind of think about your channel as like a shortcut to an introduction, at least an introduction
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
Filipino history and culture and identity. And I see your channel really as sort of like the spark notes of Filipino history and culture. And again, you've been doing this for a very long time, so I've been really proud to see so many people from so many walks of life too come through to you, whether that's through your workshops, through your YouTube channel, or through your books. Just so many who's learned from you. So again, you should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I know it takes just so much work into creating and maintaining your channel. I'm happy that you're here today. Yeah, which actually leads us into the next question. So I know that maintaining your channel takes a lot of work. How do you stay motivated to create content? And how do you deal with a lot of the online social media haters? Because that's like nowadays you just can't get away with that. You can't get away with that, you can't get away with people who are just there to hate. And, you know, how do you maintain a motivation to continue your YouTube channel? How do you fight against the noise? How do you combat that? Let your viewers know how you're staying motivated, and also how the, you know, your viewers can also help you stay motivated.
That's a big question. Okay, this might sound cheesy to a lot of people, but this is all, in all honesty, is really meeting people.
Yeah.
You know, meeting people in person or even talking to them online. You know, meeting people is what really keeps me motivated this past 12 years of creating this content. How do I handle haters, for example? And keep myself motivated? It's hard. There's a lot of ups and downs in my mental health, and there will always be haters. How I deal with them and how I keep motivated is really just reminding myself of the community out there that's very supportive.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, if you actually count all the thumb down, because I can see the thumb downs and thumbs up on YouTube on my end. But if you actually count, you know, it's always like around 98% thumbs up and always like 2% thumbs down. So for me, it's like, oh, you know, the haters are always the loudest, but they're not the biggest number out there.
Right.
The biggest number are always the supporters out there.
Right.
Again, it may sound cheesy, but really meeting people.
Yeah.
Meeting people in person. Going down to events, going, you know, when I love doing lectures, not because I want to be up there at the podium, but actually, if you notice my lectures, I always encourage them to ask questions. I love interacting with them. I love interacting with the community, and I love staying behind for like so much longer.
More hours.
Yeah, more hours than I should to talk to the community. It's just really meeting people. It really, you know, that's really what keeps me motivated. And yeah, so I do appreciate everybody who supports my channel, for all your love and support throughout these years. Everybody that I've met throughout the 12 years that I've been doing this, you know, in the Philippines. You know, I just came back from Indonesia, Singapore, Taiwan, and I've met so many amazing Filipinos and non-Filipinos who have been supportive of my channel. Yeah, there's just really, you know, a lot more support out there than the hate.
Right.
And again, the internet, there's always haters on the internet.
Right. And it's really easy to fall into the trap of like the haters too.
Online.
When you don't have a strong support community, or like a supportive community, like it's really easy to then just see, oh my gosh, I have so much hate, and like here it's just spiral, like a spiral down, you know. But yeah, I think that just seeing your videos and seeing that there's so much more overwhelming support, I can see how that like helps motivate you, and also like the people that you meet at like festivals or like the one that we went to the other day
in LA. Shout out to LA.
And then just seeing and meeting people, I think that probably maybe is a reminder of like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm doing it for. At least this is how it looks like on my end. And
then again, how do I deal with the haters? It's hard not to get hurt. I get hurt with those comments, the hateful comments, but as much as I can, I put myself in their shoes. You know, shout out to my family for raising me this way, but I've been raised to always put myself in the other person's shoes. Before you fight somebody, try to see from their perspective, and that's what I always do whenever I see hateful comments. I get hurt. And then after I process my hurt feelings, I would actually think of it. Okay, maybe you know, I put myself in their shoes. Maybe they're not, you know, as exposed to what I learned. They didn't have same access to the same knowledge that I had. And it also reminds me that, you know, I had the privilege to learn all of these things growing up, and also in school. I had the privilege to go to prestigious universities. And at the same time, I had privilege of having culture bearers and scholars in my family. And it just reminds me that, you know, why I created this channel in the first place. You know, it's my turn to share that knowledge. It's my turn to share that wisdom to the community. And, you know, it's my turn to raise awareness and, you know, uplift the narratives of our people.
Well, I think that's a really important reminder too, especially for your viewers, like especially those who support you, because it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes already, but also with understanding that for anybody who wants to possibly create a YouTube channel, right? That hate just comes with the territory, and it is so easy nowadays to hate online. It's much easier now to hide behind a screen and just project hate, right? But what we want to try to do is build a community, really, and that's what like your I think your channel is all about. It's about building community, bringing people together to really learn history and culture and everything in between. Like this is supposed to be a place, you know, or a platform a platform for like people to come together and really just share their knowledge and like, you know, exchange like ideas and like really think about what it means, especially for the Filipino like viewers, right? What it means to be Filipino. You know, like you have been you've been on this channel for 12 plus years, and while your channel focuses on Filipino history and culture, like you've been doing like other things as well, right? And also you're bringing in non-Filipino viewers who are interested in learning about what does it mean to be Filipino, and then also like sparking interest in them to learn more. I mean, I think that your channel is really a part of the reason why I have been pretty interested in like learning my history. Your supporters and our voices will be there to support you. I think it takes a lot of courage for someone to come on screen and actually share what you're sharing. So yeah, appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what is one piece of advice that you'd like to give to aspiring content creators? I know that we had just talked about, you know, what inspired you and how do you maintain motivation, but what's something that you can give to those who do want to start their channels and do want to get on the platform to use it for good?
Okay. Does it have to be one? Because I have a few in my head. I can think of a few advices. I have a lot of advices.
Yeah, feel free.
One I already mentioned earlier, kind of when I talked about my history of my channel, is that don't chase your audience. Don't do videos. Don't do content just to create content to get audience. You know, don't chase your audience because the audience will one day find you, and once they found you, that's when your community really starts. That's when a genuine connection starts. Okay, but I guess the biggest piece of advice I want to give them would actually be, you know, to always remember that nobody's perfect, you know. Nobody knows everything. Nobody can do everything. And always remember that people will always commit mistakes. What is important for us is to learn from those mistakes, grow from those mistakes. And, you know, don't try to be perfect, because when we try to be perfect, that's when we actually commit more mistakes and we don't learn from it.
Yeah,
you know?
and then also it's also like disingenuous.
Always strive to be better every day. Because when we try to be better every day, you know, improve every day, then that's closer to perfection. And a part of that is also being genuine about yourself, being genuine about what you're passionate about. So yeah, you know, the more genuine you are with what you're passionate about, the more genuine you are with what you want to share to the community, to the world, to the universe rather, you know, the more genuine you are with just keep doing what you love, you know, the more genuine you are in your platform, whether it's on TikTok, on YouTube, or Facebook, or, you know, whatever platform that comes in the next decade, you know, the more genuine connection you get with the community. And that's how you actually get support from the community. That's how you get, you know, motivated. Create content that would actually help make our world a better place. It may sound cheesy to a lot of people, but for me, that's really a big part of my content creation. And whenever I make a video, it's like, okay, how is this video going to help make the world a better place, you know? How does this content help create a brighter future for our future generation, for our children, grandchildren, you know? To summarize this whole thing, just keep doing what you love doing. Be true to yourself. Be genuine. Build genuine connections with your audience. And don't create content just to go viral. Create content that would help make our world a better place.
There's a proverb that fits so perfect to what you're doing. I don't know where this proverb is from, but it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. And I think that your channel, although it's taken about 12 years to get here, you've created such a beautiful community that, you know, when people see you, they're like, oh, you're the one, you're Kirby, you're the one who does the YouTube channel on Filipino history. Like, I think that's probably one of the coolest part where I get to sort of just see in any of the events that we do, and just seeing the excitement of people like connecting your face right to your name, especially in person, because again, everybody looks different online. Everybody looks different online. I think that you've built a really just beautiful community. Your channel has sparked so many interests and so many people wanting to learn their own history. So kudos to you for doing such incredible work.
Thank you.
I think that our conversation takes us to the next question. What has been the most rewarding part of your YouTube journey?
Again, it might sound, you know, cheesy, but it's really the people that I meet, you know. I love going out there, meeting the community, and if I can think of a moment that really, like, you know, is very rewarding, it's really meeting the people. And I can think of two specific moments at this point.
Okay.
One is back in, I think 2018, when I was passing out school supplies to my old grade school teacher, elementary school teacher in the Philippines. We visited her public school where she teaches now, and we were passing out school supplies. And there was this little kid, this little boy, who came up to me with his notebook, with his classroom notebook, you know, the notebook that he uses to take notes in class, and came up to me and asked for a signature. So I gave him a little message and I signed it, Kuya Kirby. And then right after I gave him back the notebook, he just spirited away, happily hopping,
Yeah,
and then he did a little jump and like, what do you call it when you do the?
I don't know. They
They
tap
tap their
their
heels together.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'll show a
remember.
clip. I think I actually have a clip of it,
Okay,
so I'll show it
okay.
here. So yeah, he was just really happy.
I think I was filming that day.
Yes, you were actually behind the
'cause
camera.
I remember.
Yeah, so that's very memorable to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, just seeing the joy in their eyes, the yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but that's a very very memorable
Yeah,
moment for me.
What you didn't see was that while you were in the classroom,
Uh-huh.
I saw the boy with his friend.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was really working up the courage to
Yeah.
come ask you for a signature because
Oh.
we had just come from their classroom.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, because
And we were going to
different-
right,
yeah.
right, we were going to different classrooms, and so because I was outside,
Uh-huh.
he was coming from the first classroom, like again, like really working up the courage, but like
I didn't know that.
I'm gonna go ask him for like a signature,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like it's like when you meet your idol, I don't know, it's like, okay, like, do you like, should we go ask him, should we not?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. So anyway, that
Uh-huh.
that was what was happening outside. But I'm really happy that he worked up the courage to come and
Uh-huh.
ask you because I was there. Like, it was such a special moment
Yeah.
for me to see, but also like just in general, like the students who received like the school supplies were like
Yeah.
just so grateful.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you gave them the new pencils, like they used it right away,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, it's so heartwarming. And so having the little boy, who by the way they said it looks like you,
yeah, I remember now.
they
Okay,
said
yeah.
that like, oh yeah, this little boy looks like you.
Yeah.
Like just having him work up the courage and
Uh-huh.
come ask you, I think that was pretty cool. That was such
Yeah.
a cute little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, which I will remember too because again,
too,
I was
yeah.
filming that day, so that was really just a like heart warming, heart melting moment.
Yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It just makes you melt on the inside. And then I know that you mentioned that there were two.
Oh yeah. There's another one. Sorry, I'm just reminiscing back in 2018.
I know, we're so like,
Yeah.
if we start thinking about like
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
we're so like, oh.
Because I do meet a lot of people throughout
Yeah.
the 12 years that I've been doing this. I've been invited to a lot of lectures, but it's really those moments that I share
Aw,
with
yeah.
especially the younger ones.
Yeah.
It's
They're
really
so
like
adorable.
Yeah.
And then what was the second?
Yeah.
What was the second experience that you remember?
Yeah. So the second memorable moment for me that I can think of right now is the following year. So
Okay.
after that, 2019, we did a medical mission with NAFCON, our annual medical mission. That year, we went to Tondo. We went to Baseco and Smoky Mountain. Smoky Mountain is literally, for those who may not know, Smoky Mountain, it was literally a mountain of garbage. It was a dump site. It was a former dump site. It was a mountain of garbage. Then there's a lot of community that formed, that developed around that mountain of garbage, on top of that mountain of garbage, that don't have the necessary services from the government.
Yeah.
So we went there for a medical mission in 2019. And I remember very early in the morning, it was raining. It was raining. It was raining hard, actually. And we were just climbing the mountain, carrying the supplies, carrying the tent, carrying all the medical supplies up the mountain, setting up early in the morning. And then a group of youth, from that community, who came up to me and said that, wait, are you the guy on YouTube, right? They're like trying to figure out how to say my name.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I don't think you're talking about me.
Yeah.
So in my head, I wasn't really expecting it was me.
Yeah.
I was expecting wait. I actually told them no, hindi ako yun. That's not me. I
Okay.
think you're talking about Atom. That's what I
Yeah.
said. So for those who may not know, Atom Araullo is a famous journalist in the Philippines and famous newscaster, journalist, award-winning documentary person, and who happens to be my cousin, right?
Shout out Atom.
Shout out to Atom. Actually, Atom is a big part of why I love making
Aw,
documentaries. Why I
yeah.
wanted to make documentaries, because when I was a kid, I was watching him in
Yeah.
5 and Up. Fun fact. But anyways, that morning they were really like, you're the guy on YouTube.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
even said you're the guy on TV.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's Atom. I was like, hindi ako yun, si Atom yun.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, it's you, not him. Because apparently, the week before we went there for medical mission, Atom was there filming a documentary. So
I love that. I love
yeah,
that.
so they were really like, no, we met him last week.
Okay.
We're talking about you. And then
we know him.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
know him.
yeah.
If you're not him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that's when they pulled out their
Yeah,
phones. You know,
okay.
like a few of them pulled out their phones. Like this is you, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're showing
Yeah.
one of my old videos.
That's funny.
And for me, that was like one of the most unexpected moments for me because
Aw, yeah.
I wasn't there as a content creator.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
there doing my medical
Yeah.
mission. You know, I was there trying to help the
Yeah,
community, and then
yeah.
this unexpected encounter
Aw.
happened. And I guess for me, that moment was one of my earliest, what do you call this, like eye-opening. There we go,
Yeah,
eye-opening
yeah.
encounter where I started realizing that whatever I'm doing in my channel
Yeah.
actually has an impact, actually reaches
Aw,
the different
yeah.
corners of
Yeah.
the world. You
Yeah.
know, that I didn't expect.
Right.
Because I wasn't really expecting anybody in Smoky
Here
Mountain
you
watching
are,
my videos,
climbing
right?
up
Yeah,
the hill.
yeah.
It's raining.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
raining hard when we
Yeah.
were just setting up, and then
Aw.
then they just reached out to, or like, you know, came up to me, and we had a moment, and then we became friends.
Yeah.
I'm friends with them on Facebook now.
Aw, that is
Yeah,
so
so those
cute.
moments are really some of the most rewarding moments
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And then it made me realize that whatever I'm doing on my channel, in my
Yeah.
living room, and whatever I'm doing, it has really, you know, it has an impact,
Yeah.
a positive impact in the community. And then I make a difference. I guess I make a difference in the least expected spaces.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know that you're making a difference because it's not just in your channel that you're making a difference. You're also making a channel like outside of it, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
imagine if you were just like if you
Uh-huh.
just stayed here in
Yeah.
the living room and
Yeah.
just did all your
Yeah.
videos from here,
Uh-huh.
didn't engage with the community,
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere else to really interact with the
Uh-huh.
community, like you wouldn't have the impact that you do now.
Yeah.
But I can really just attest to like
Uh-huh.
the difference that you're making because you can tell and you can see from the people who are coming up to you and also just like absorbing the information that you're sharing from online, but also like in person. So whenever we were just out of festival the other day, for me being on sort of like the sideline, really just looking into like your life.
Part of my life.
Yeah, but in those moments, it's like, okay, I'm looking from the outside in. And like, let me tell you, he did not get a break. Like, as soon as we stepped onto the festival, grounds, like he couldn't get a free break at all. Like, as soon as somebody was done talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go get lunch. Like, you can't even go get lunch. Yeah. And I love that. Like, I love that. Like, I love that they're just like, oh, like here's my moment to go talk to him or like ask, my questions or like ask him more because I'm so curious about A, B, and C, right? So like, I love that, and I love like your willingness to like teach, like not just through the YouTube channel, but in person, and you do it in so many different ways too. Like you also do it through like your books. I forget sometimes that like as much as you put like an outpouring amount of time into your channel, you also put a lot of time into your books, right? That in itself has impact for the people and the community members reading that. And then you also have like, I want to say like really this revival of like Filipino fashion, almost like just not
pre-colonial fashion,
like pre-colonial fashion, like not even like 10, 15, gosh, I don't know how far back, but I remember in college, like I wasn't seeing what others were doing with Filipino fashion the way that you were when you first wore your salampe for your Phil grad.
Yeah, my graduation.
Yeah.
2012.
Like,
yes.
I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, like that's interesting.
Yeah,
like, what does that mean? Again, when I say you make history cool, like you've also made fashion cool in a way where it's like, oh, it's like acceptable, and it's like that's something that you should be proud of. And you've made people like have an interest again in like their roots, right? Which is like understanding that we have history and we have culture way before colonialization, right? And it's understanding like how far that goes, and then you've making that cool again.
Thank
has
you.
been really impactful.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, again, 10, 15 years ago, I wasn't really seeing folks like wearing that, but like now there's a lot of creators doing what you're doing now, right? Because of the impact that you've made, and I love that. Like they're making videos, they're making I don't know, just content overall on whatever platforms that they want, and then also like with the fashion piece, like I've just seen so much more like representation in the pre-colonial like fashion that I'm like, oh wow, it's so great. Fashion, it's so great to see people wearing that so much more. And there's I also see like what is it, like art like graphic graphics of pre-colonial Philippine like attires, and I'm sure it's like your work, right? Inspired by you, like to get people thinking like, oh, like what did we used to wear before colonialization? Again, you reviving this sort of piece of like Filipino fashion is really, really cool. Again, like you've been doing this for a long time, and you've really created a movement in what you say, like culture and identity and everything in between, you know? So you should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I see all of the impact that you've been able to make like on and offline. So yeah, it's like a huge, like just momentous like celebration of like everything that you've been able to do. So
thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Another rewarding thing for me is that when I see my followers, my subscribers, you know, who learn something, then they start their own platform, they start their own channel, they start their own TikTok. That's one of the best rewarding moments for me, or rewarding feeling for me, is that when I see them doing their own research, digging deeper beyond my channel, digging deeper, and then sharing their knowledge to the younger generation. You know,
for sure, we know that you've been able to make impact on and off camera. So I just want to take this moment and say salamat.
Thank you.
Look at me. I'm using what I'm learning from your channel just to, you know, apply to my everyday life. Salamat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do. Again, I'm sure you spend just so much time into this channel, and it's not something that you get paid for anyway. You do this out of the goodness of your own heart. Okay, so before we go into our last question, we're gonna unbox.
Dun, dun, dun. Drum roll, please.
Here's a YouTube letter. Aw, it's so cute. It's from the YouTube CEO, Neil Mohan. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Ooh, it's in a plastic bag.
Okay, let's take this out of the plastic.
Ta-da!
It's okay. It's okay. If you all still have stuff in your plastic, it's okay to take it out, even if it's temporarily. All right, so it says presented to Kirby Araullo for passing 100,000 subscribers.
Thank you. Yay. So
Yay.
Pretty. Oh, it's like a mirror. I can see myself.
Going. Maybe that should be your new intro.
Ta-da!
Aw, how does it feel?
This is real, right?
Yes.
It's metal.
Right, Neil? This is real? All right.
It's real.
Well, okay, so last question now. Now that you have this as proof of your 100,000 subscribers, how does it feel to reach 100,000 subscribers after 12 years?
After 12 years. So yeah, when it happened, I was actually traveling. I was traveling to Southeast Asia when it happened, so I didn't really get a chance to. I remember when it was like 88,000, like 12,000 more, and it was 98,000, 2,000 more, right? Yeah. And I was so excited to reach the goal. But then when it happened, I was in the middle of traveling to Southeast Asia, so I didn't really get a chance to soak it all in.
Yeah.
And then when I got back from my 2-month travel, it took a while for this to get here, so I guess it's been prolonged.
Yeah.
But overall, this whole time, it's a mix of emotion. Just, I guess, reflecting on the journey, the 12 years journey to finally reach 100,000 subscribers. And, you know, for me, you know this, right?
Yeah.
It was never about the numbers for me. From the very beginning, it was never about the numbers. It was really sharing what I love, sharing my passion for our history, culture, and everything in between. To be honest, it actually has the same amount of joy that I had when I first reached my first 100 subscribers on my own channel.
Yeah.
Or my first 1,000 subscribers in this channel, you know. I remember even being happy when it was 666 because the number was so, you know, so meaningful in Filipino culture that, whoa, I reached this milestone, you know.
Yeah.
And again, to be honest, it's really a mix of emotion. I'm very happy that I got 100,000 subscribers after all these years, after more than a decade, you know, of building this channel. I'm very happy that I got it. But at the same time, I'm also cognizant that now I have a bigger platform. Now I have more responsibility, you know, in the knowledge that I'm spreading, you know, and the awareness that I'm raising. And to be honest, a part of me is also very excited for the next 12 years, you know, because doing this is not, for me, it's not about being viral. You know, it's about the long-term prospect, the long-term, you know, goal of really raising awareness for our community, raising awareness about our roots, you know, raising awareness about our people, appreciating our roots, you know. And again, I'm very excited for the next 12 years. And I'm very excited, you know, hopefully more people would join us. Hopefully more people would follow me and join me in this journey. Not just follow, but be part of this journey and be part of, you know, growing this family. Because for me, I see this community as a family. This is my extended my digital family, my YouTube family, you know, because now we have 100,000 people in this family. So I do hope that in the next coming years, we even grow even bigger. Yeah, and I just want to take this moment to say salamat. a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's been part of this channel. Whether you've been with me from the very beginning, like you've been with me from the very first video, How to Survive Finals Week in UC Davis, if you want to look it up, to our guinea pigs, our old guinea pigs who were with us from the very beginning. Again, whether you've been with me from the very beginning or, we've connected somewhere along the way, we've met along the way in this channel, your love and support throughout these years has truly meant the world to me. Meeting so many of you, hearing your stories and learning from one another. Again, that's really what made this past 12 years really meaningful and special. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of ups and downs, behind the scenes, on screen, in the last 12 years. And honestly, it's this community, this very supportive community that has kept me motivated, kept me inspired throughout these 12 years. So, salamat. Thank you. Yeah, it hasn't always been easy, but your encouragement and your engagement with me and really building this community has made it all worth it. Kaya naman, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Or yung Pampanga Dacal, pung salamat kay Hongan. Thank you so much for being part of my journey, for being part of this channel, for being part of this family.
And that is it for us today.
See you next time, or in Tagalog. Wait, actually, stay tuned for more videos, more collaborations, and more books from this channel. See you next time, or in Tagalog kita kids, and in Kapampangan. Mikitix.